I forgot to bring my microphone. I just got home from a gig. I'm doing this in my car. Fuck it. Yeah, just got home. I'm gonna try and do an episode every day of the week this week as well. And the update for today is something that I've been dwelling on. I've been having these feelings, these thoughts for a couple of days, which have been dwelling on me, and it's been kind of hard to process them. These thoughts are as follows, okay? I think stand-up comedy is hard, right? I think that this isn't particularly easy, but I do think people make it way too hard by just making it hard. What am I trying to say with this? This was a terrible explanation. So everything that I've done in my life so far, playing competitively, playing video games competitively at a very high level, for example, competing in jiu-jitsu, everything has sort of a, okay, if you want this, you need to do this. If you want to be a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, you need to go to class. You need to train. You need to train better than other people. You will be fighting against other people, and you will see if you're better than other people or not. You go to compete, and you will definitely know if you're better than the same people at your rank. Same thing for video games. You have a rank. You play the game. You become better at the game. You study the game. You do the best you can to become better at the game. You do everything you can to be good at the game, right? And that's rewarded with a better rank, better opponents, better games, more competitive games. Who knows? The list goes on. Eventually, you can even be rewarded with playing on a team. You get to know people who are better than you. You get to know people who are way better than you. You get to eventually start to play with the pros and whatnot, right? And comedy is weird, okay? I look at comedy and sometimes, especially here in Lisbon, in Portugal, and I look at, this was what I was thinking coming home from this gig. The gig, I don't think I've ever had like, at least in English, I don't remember if I had like, I started in October 2025, okay? And I don't ever remember having a gig in which I completely bombed, in which I left the stage and said to myself, what the fuck am I doing here, okay? I've had that in Portuguese, and I think in English in Portugal, I don't get much of that because the crowd is more into it. Because I think if I did it in London, I think the crowds in London for English are like the crowds in Portugal for Portuguese comedy. Okay? But that's another topic, whatever. But my struggle, what I've been struggling with, my thoughts have been like, why am I doing this at the end of the day? Right? Because when I played video games, for example, competitively, I got to a very high level. I got to play with really good people. Okay, I was at a point a very good player as well. Okay, and everything was linear. Everything was like, okay, you want to become better at X, you study X. You see the best person at X, you study that person, and you either create something similar to X or you just do what X does, right? My struggle is that how the fuck do I do that in comedy if I can only do 2 gigs per week, if I only have 3 shows per week, even 4 shows? Like, I look at my calendar for this week. I look at my week calendar for this week. I have 2 gigs scheduled. I just did 1. I have another one on Sunday. That's fucking shit. That's trash. That's horrible. That makes me fucking depressed. Right? Because it feels like I'm not doing this for anything. Right? I've consumed a lot of stuff online regarding this topic, but just sitting down and writing doesn't, it definitely works. I get that. I know. I've heard people who do this, who have been doing this for way longer than me, who are way better than me, who are completely established comedians, professional comedians. But why the fuck am I gonna sit down and write a 15-minute bit if I'm gonna get on stage and do a 5-minute bit where I can't even say my name without getting the light? You know, I don't know. This has been a struggle. This has been annoying. This has been something that hasn't been easy to deal with. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because it annoys me, because I have a lot of fucking ideas. I could do a podcast for hours. I could do a podcast for hours every single day. It might not be hilarious, but I can speak a lot. I have a lot of fucking thoughts, okay? But it's hard when you only get these many opportunities to be on stage. It's impossible. It's frustrating. It's hard. It's really fucking hard. And I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. I'm trying to create my own show, but even then, there's just going to be another gig, and I'll probably not even perform because I'll need to host it. You know? This is fucking hard. I don't know. I don't think comedy is hard. I don't think getting on stage is hard. I don't think being funny is hard. I don't think writing jokes is only hard because the whole process of actually writing is mundane, it's boring, it's hard to sometimes just look at a piece of paper and just a nothing burger comes out. I get that. I agree with that. But I don't know. I've only been doing this for October, November, December, January, February, March. I've only been doing this for 6 fucking months. Okay? I've only been doing this for 6 fucking months. I don't want to be cocky. I've evolved so much in 6 months. I've seen people who I've started when I was on month 0 that haven't changed in 6 months. You know, they don't write a new joke. They don't have a new bit. They don't have new nothing. You know? And sometimes I'm struggling with the fact that I'm trying my best. I'm doing all I see on the internet. I'm doing what I see the professionals say that you need to do. I'm doing all that I can to try and make this a thing. I really am. But I sometimes look at the comedy scene, at least here in Lisbon, and it's infuriating. It's infuriating, the lack of opportunities that we have in this country. Not in this country. I'm not trying to be one of those fucking guys. But yeah, so for example, me and Brandon, we're trying to we're going to Barcelona to perform. We're going to Barcelona to do a couple of gigs there, right? Stay a couple of nights, do a couple of shows. I look at the Barcelona scene, and Barcelona it's probably not, Barcelona, I think it's a top 3 English comedy scene in Europe. It's so different. It's so different. I get excited just thinking of this. I get excited just thinking about the fact of going on a show every single night. I don't give a fuck if I'm doing a show for 3 people. I don't give a fuck I'm only doing a show for the bartender. I just want to be on stage. I don't just want to try on the shit that I just wrote. You know? You know what I mean? I want to know if this shit fucking stinks. I want to know if I have the next big joke. You know? But I can't. And it's hard, bro. It's hard. It's hard. This has been extremely difficult for me. Not gonna lie to y'all. Not gonna lie. Really fucking difficult. Really. They weren't lying when they said Portugal is a country of insanity when it comes to opportunities, besides, because Jesus, even when I played competitively Valorant esports, the Portuguese scene, it wasn't great, but you could play with people from outside. I was practicing with tier 1 teams. I was practicing with the best of the best, the finest of the finest. I was playing against them. I was playing with them. We were doing shit with, and even us. But the thing that annoys me the most is that there's a lot of great fucking comedians here in Lisbon, here in Portugal, even in Portuguese. But The lack of opportunities, the lack of like anything is crazy. And if I say this, I'm a fucking leftist. I'm a fucking weirdo. I'm a fucking Nazi. I'm a communist. No, bro. No. I'm just a fucking guy that wants to be on stage. You know? I just want to be on fucking stage. I just want to do shows. But I can't. I fucking can't. You know? Because I've never had... This is the first thing that I've done in my fucking life in which, even if you're getting better, even if you're doing all the right things, so far, at least, I think I'm doing the right things. I could be wrong, okay? I'm definitely not making... I'm for sure not doing all the right things. But I'm all ears. I don't give a fuck if you tell me I'm being a fucking bigot on stage. I don't give a fuck if you tell me if I'm being stupid. I want feedback. I want to know what I'm not doing good so I can get that shit out of the way and start doing the good things. You know? I'm not going to be here and be a hardhead and try to defend, make my point that I'm doing X and Y, Z thing correct, even if you know better than me and you're telling me that I'm not doing those things correctly. I'm all in for that. I think that's what's made me progress so quickly and become better quicker, right? Because I'm all in for feedback. You tell me this joke fucking sucks because you were being sexist. Okay. I'm not gonna do that joke. Or if I'm not gonna do that joke, if I want to do that joke, I need to find a way around it. That's okay. That's all good, and I agree with that. But I don't know. The lack of opportunities is insane, man. It's insane. And even if you're doing comedy in Portuguese, bro, I don't even know how many times you're getting on stage. For a guy that was starting, even if I was just doing Portuguese, I'm probably getting on stage once every 2 weeks. Even if I'm getting on stage once every 2 weeks. Like, Jesus Christ, man. This is hard work, because everything that I've done in my life, which have, in my opinion, been hard things, like becoming a competitive esports player, isn't particularly easy. It's a lot of fucking hours. It's hours that that normal people don't want to put into a game, don't want to put into something. It's 10,000 hours. It's all they say, right? Most people don't want to do that, and that's completely fine. But how the fuck do you get to 10,000 hours on comedy if you're doing 5-minute gigs once every 2 weeks? How do you get 10,000 hours on comedy if you're getting 5 minutes twice a week? That's not gonna fucking happen. I'm gonna be dead before I get there. You know? Back when I was playing video games professionally, I was putting in like fucking 12-hour days while working a full-time job. 14-hour days, 16-hour days. I was sleeping 5 fucking hours to get games in. There's a lady right beside my fucking car with their dog, because this is a very small street and she definitely needs to be here. The dog needs to sniff my fucking fourth wheel, Anyways, this has been hard, man. This has been frustrating, infuriating to say the least. It's really hard because everything that I have done that's been hard, it has a path. There's a path for you. You just need to fucking walk it if you're willing to. I don't see a path in comedy. I don't see anything. I just see a bunch of pebbles in the street for me to kick around and just go do some shows. You know what I mean? That's all I see for comedy. That's all I see in comedy, at least so far. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard, it's weird. And I think comedy is only hard because of that. At least from my experience so far. Yeah, sure, I've bombed. I don't have an anti-missile fucking sentry. I don't have an anti-missile system. I've bombed a lot. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm good at all. I'm not saying I'm good at this comedy thing, by the way. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying I want to be good at it. But I feel like I can't get to that because there's just not a path. There's nothing. It's just a bunch of it's just a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger. There's nothing to be done. Yeah, I could sit down every day and write 100,000 jokes. And what? I don't have a place to do them. Am I going to do them online? Is that it? That might be it. I do need to think of that, because I looked at my calendar before getting on my car and coming home. I got fucking depressed. I had today's show and I had a show for Sunday, right? And even if I even look at the guys that have been doing this for a lot of years here in Lisbon and outside and whatnot, and I look at that and look at it, it's like, why are you doing this? Why aren't you just spending time with your fucking family? Why are you here? You know what I mean? Because this is not going to be, you're not going to be living out of this. You're not going to, is it just a hobby? Sure. But all my hobbies have all been, maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's my problem. All my hobbies have always been turned to the extreme. You know, all my hobbies have all turned to the extreme. That's true. That's true. I used to play video games for fun. Then I started playing Call of Duty. I started going to tournaments, game battles, LANs. Then I turned to Counter-Strike. Again, another hobby. Started playing seriously. ESEA, Face It, whatnot. That didn't really go well. Then Valorant. Again, started for fun. Then it got serious. All of a sudden I'm getting paid to play. In comedy, I look at it and it's like, it's weird, bro. I don't even have the words to put in. I don't even have the words to describe what comedy is. I think this is why so many people just quit, because they look at it and it's like, which is the pickle that I think I'm currently in, because I look at it and it's like, it doesn't seem to be a future in comedy in itself. Stand-up comedy in itself has no future, in my opinion. This that I'm doing is it's probably the future, in my opinion. Okay? That's why I do this as well. I do this to practice my English, obviously, but I think this is most likely the future. Speaking to you. Not stand-up comedy. Because stand-up comedy, unless you get a break, unless you get someone who sees you and thinks you're good and thinks whatnot and thinks blah, blah, blah about you and wants you to go on tour with them and wants to whatnot, I don't think just doing random shows on Monday in the middle of Lisbon is ever going to take you anywhere. You know what I mean? And I've always been very objective about these sort of things, because the game Valorant, for example, as soon as I realize, okay, this is just going to be a shit show forever and this isn't going to get better, why am I playing this? And I just stopped playing. You just have to be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? You have to be honest with yourself. You just have to look at things objectively sometime, eventually, and just say to yourself, this ain't it. I'm not saying comedy isn't it. I've been loving doing it, but it just frustrates me and irritates me, the fact that I can't do more of it. You know? So yeah, 18-minute fucking rant on why comedy here annoys me. Okay? There's just not enough fucking shows, man. There just isn't. And I get why there's just not enough people to go on the shows, which is also annoying. But at the same time, it's just, fuck, you know? Because I don't want to move. I don't want to leave. This is the best place on earth. I just think, like, is it like the amount of people on a place all that determines how good, like, something can be? You know? We're at 10, we have 10 million people. We're like an 11 million. We have like 12 million people as a population-wise. We have some of the best footballers on earth. A lot of them. A lot of them. Right? A lot of people want to come to Portugal to play football. A lot of people want to, but that's not a good example, because football is the only thing that people really care about in this country. But I look at Barcelona, I look at Spain. Spain isn't a country that's much different than us, than Portugal. But they're so much more developed in these areas of their... Whatever, I'm gonna wrap this up. But they're so much more developed in these areas of art and whatnot. And it has to be because of it's probably because of the fact that, for example, Barcelona has 10 million people just in Barcelona, right? I don't know if Barcelona has 10 million people. That seems like an exaggeration. I don't know, but whatever. I feel way better the fact that I got this out of me. And yeah, hopefully if someone sees this and feels the same way, wherever you're from, I hope you found comfort in my words. So yeah, anyways, I'm not going fucking anywhere. I'm still gonna be grinding. I'm still gonna be doing whatever the fuck I have to do. And if you're thinking, I wasn't thinking at all of quitting, but if you're a comic who's thinking of quitting, don't, just keep going. It probably gets better. I highly doubt it. But it probably will get better. If you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not. That's the name of the game, brother. Amen to that. Just keep grinding, keep going, keep showing up. And yeah, I think what I'm gonna do this week is I'm gonna go to the shows either way and just hang out. I think that could be good. So yeah. Anyways, fellas, another pleasure, another day, another dollar, another pleasure. I don't think I like the sound of that, but it was a pleasure having you, brother. And yeah, take it easy. Have a nice night, a nice day, wherever you're at. Enjoy yourself. Bye. I don't know if the sound was shit or not. I didn't have my microphone. I hope it wasn't. So yeah, peace.